I still had this idea that I had to be picked, that I needed somebody else, and not community, but I needed a more powerful person to
Yeah.
take me and make me and do the thing with me that I couldn't do for myself.
Hmm.
And in the past 10 years, I I'm the one picking me.
Ready to
Yeah,
rock and roll?
I'm rocking and rolling.
We're doing it. All right.
What I
Well,
do?
we're here. Welcome to At the Vanguard. Jason Paige. Nice. You just had a birthday, right?
The Jason Paige.
The Jason Paige. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I had a birth giving day. My mother's 57th birth giving day.
Yes.
I celebrated her here in Woodland Hills, and it was epic. Actually, we're going to be celebrating it a little bit more musically on
Okay.
Saturday evening. If you would like to come over,
What are you doing
come on.
Saturday?
We're just hosting a little musical gathering here at the crib,
Oh, that's
um,
awesome.
and you are invited.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, I remember your birth giving day song that you
Yes,
composed. Yes. Kind
yeah.
of turning the holiday on its head. Tell me about that. Where did that
You
come
know,
from?
the birth experience, and my wife and I are investigating fertility right now. So I've been
Okay.
doing a lot of research about birth, its origins, what it really means, and the magical, ethereal, and completely supernatural experience of birth, and how it exists in nature, and how it
Uh-huh.
exists in how it's supposed to really be. And it's the day for the mother to have this incredible experience, a connectedness with her supernatural powers. And I've always known this. That's just why I honored my mother on it. But I was honoring her for what she went through, this hardship, this battle she went through. And
Mm-hmm.
it turns out it's the opposite. It's been flipped on its head, as I
Mm-hmm.
like to sort of flip everything back on its on its feet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and birth is supposed to be an ecstatic, connected, ethereal, psychedelic experience where we connect with source, where we are females connect with the source.
Mm.
And of course, the males that are, or anybody that's involved in the birthing process surrounding the mother are also connected to this ethereal process. The two most important moments in human existence, birth and death, and
Mm.
they're relegated to the back room. They're relegated to these systems that take away our ability to connect in these profoundly powerful ways. So
Yeah.
I continue to support the birth giving day over the
Wow.
birthday, which is a passage of time. Yeah, we're older. Matter of fact, we shouldn't even be really thinking about how much older we are and what it means to be. We're
Mm.
constantly marking our time going by, instead of marking the magic of human existence,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what birth is. So.
Yeah.
Um, that's what I mark, and that's kind of where it is. And also, I also like to talk about the fact that we are more than just this birthing event, but the birthing event is actually the egg event
Ah.
of when the egg is magically made in the womb of the mother as she's in her 13th week with a female fetus.
Mm.
That's when the egg that you are is created
Mm.
and holds the primary physical matter that you are throughout the mother's entire life. When before she's born, even you're
Wow.
there with her. So
That's incredible.
very cool experiences that have always been there and are right there under our noses, but we don't think about.
Well, happy birthday day to your
To my
mom.
mom. Thank you.
What's your mom's name again?
Charlie.
Charlie. Yes. Nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Do you feel like you've changed since you were in your 20s?
Um, in certain ways, yeah, I certainly have. I feel like I've changed more in the past 10 years than I have in the prior 20,
How so?
30. Um, I think I sort of recognized my power in the world and
Mm.
my autonomy in the world and my ability to control my own destiny as opposed to feeling like I was a product of somebody else, the pick me mentality that we get indoctrinated into in the entertainment industry,
Uh-huh.
basically. As much of the wonderful doing my own thing that it seemed like I was doing, I still had this idea that I had to be picked, that I needed somebody else and not community, but I needed a more powerful person to
Yeah.
take me and make me and do the thing with me that I couldn't do for myself.
Mm.
And in the past 10 years, I I'm the one picking me.
Yeah.
And I'm the one taking me and doing with me what I was asking somebody else to do. And I think that's just a function of our society, certainly,
For
and our
sure.
entertainment industry, but also just the natural state of a helpless child that really does need a community to preserve it and protect it until it can do it for itself. But we're not really taught to do it for ourselves once we're able. We're usually taught that someone else can do it for us, and we need to go through the proper channels to do it for ourselves, as opposed to having the innate ability to pick yourself, to put yourself where you need to be,
So
which
it's like an
we're doing with
artistic or
this podcast. You're saying,
yeah,
no, I don't need somebody else to pick me and take me. I'm going to take me and do my thing and
right?
put me where I need to be. So
It's
that's
like
the profound difference in 20 from when I was 20.
that's huge. It's like a creative spiritual coming of age.
Yeah,
Like coming
except
into one's own, you know.
30 years late.
But like you said, what is time, you know?
Yeah, what a time. What a time. It's an illusion.
What did you want to be when you were little?
um Happy.
Yeah?
I was happy. What did I want to be? I didn't really want to be a specific thing. I wasn't like I want to be an astronaut or I want to be a musician. I just was encouraged to be myself, I
Mm,
guess.
yeah.
My dad is a saxophone player. My grandfather was a drummer. Um, and I wasn't exposed to them playing. I just, that they played gigs that I never went to.
Mm-hmm.
But I was encouraged to be myself and to be musical. Um, I guess if, I didn't really want to be a thing, which was the rock star, which was Bon Jovi or Motley Crue or one of these, heavy metal gods that I worshiped when I was 13 and 14 and I started, having exposure to Ozzy Osbourne and
Yeah.
and the heavy metal guys that me and my little group of friends wanted to emulate. That I wanted to grow my hair out and be like that. But before that, I didn't. I just was, doing the thing,
Yeah.
doing the school thing, and
Yeah.
exposed to the 7 or 8 subjects that you get to choose that you don't get to choose from in
Mm-hmm.
school. I was originally saying this. Somebody said, "Oh, you have to have school because you need to be exposed to all of the things that school exposes you to." And I said, "Well, how many subjects did you get to choose in your entire school reality?" And
Right.
it's like 10 subjects, and you don't get to choose most of them until you get to the junior and senior year. I had like a list of 5 things I could choose.
Right.
So I feel like, we're really limited until we get out into the world. And then I got to choose Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, with so many choices I could be.
Uh-huh. Sounds like you would be more into like the Montessori type schooling.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had that. I did go in my childhood to 12 separate public schools.
Jesus.
So I had a very good variety of what I like to call public indoctrination.
Uh-huh.
The indoctrination camps where you get to learn those specific things that you'd never use in the world. And I got to socialize with different groups of people that were only my age, because you can't socialize outside of your age group in any of those environments. Another thing that's very bizarre about school. And then I discovered John Taylor Gatto and his writing. He was a New York City teacher who taught in public schools and won Teacher of the Year award many times, and wrote all these books about the history of American education, and really uncovered, opened the hood on what's really going on in schooling. That all of the things that we hated about school were all intentional. They were all they're all put in place to limit the imagination and to limit the potential of the kids. And it was created. Our system, our modern schooling system, is lifted from the Prussian system, which was implemented to create an army that would not run from battle. They were losing land in war, and they needed to figure out a way to get their soldiers to not think and to just do what they were told. And they created the classes and the various ways that our school system works are directly from their incredibly successful campaign to create soldiers to defend their land.
Yeah.
And that system has gone around the whole world because it did so well for them in the late 1800s. Other countries began adopting it, and we are still primarily on that same system that creates obedient rule followers. And it will be these other ideas and Montessori and different school systems are really, trying to break out of that paradigm.
Yeah. But it didn't trap
anyway,
you.
It trapped me for 12 years, and I didn't know I was trapped until I read about the trap that I had been in, and it all resonated with me. Everything that John Taylor Gatto outlines, and it all was like, yep, that was all what I felt while I was there.
Wow.
And it's there for a reason. So you're still educating, aren't you?
I am.
In your own way, in your own unique way, with each individual person is completely unique and needs a different sort of attention.
Trying to. It's hard,
right.
As you know, like in a structured institution like that, in that setting, it's tough because, you kind of do have to play, just averages and try to like, okay, I've got a class of 12, 15 people, and I have to give one lesson that satisfies all of them, Very hard,
very hard. But you do it very well. It's the same thing with with musical directing. Like, you've got the whole cast and everybody has to learn the parts, and not everybody learns the parts the same way, but you got to figure out a way to get them to do it.
To work together. Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you learn to sing, and like when did you become a proper musician?
Proper? Still not.
Bad choice of word.
Learn to sing is when we come out of the womb, we're screaming that high sharp, right when we come out, D, depending on, your range. And then you learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Your alphabet is musical. Your Mary had a little lamb, ring around the rosy. You're singing all through your childhood to learn and to grow and to understand language. I think you understand musical language prior to understanding verbal language. And then it gets taken away from you as it becomes disruptive to your parents or adult environments, and they tell you, stop with all that noise. And then you get self-conscious about the singing part, and then I just didn't get stopped. And then I started to properly learn music when I went to the Fame. I want to live forever. I want to learn how to fly. Hey! School. High School of Music and Art for voice.
You did? Okay.
And I took voice lessons. But I've talked to my other friends that have gone to more traditional suburban schools, and they had equal or more artistic time in their schools than I did in this music and art vocal school. It was voice, instrumental, and art in music and art. And then there was a sister school, performing arts, which was acting, dance, and drama, and instrumental. And we had one class of voice and one class of theory for the first 2 years. The third year, I got an elective, and I was able to do 2 classes. And then senior year, there was a couple of other extracurricular things, like a musical theater class or a senior opera chorus. But it really wasn't a comprehensive artistic musical experience as portrayed in the movie, the TV show, and the musical. But I did go there and learn "Come from Your Bed."
It's a classic.
And all of those, French
24
art.
Italian arias.
24 Italian arias. You know it. I still have that book.
I've played them all.
Stashed away somewhere. Vittoria, 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 mio cuore. Amazing how I remember that shit.
They're catchy. Yeah, they're great tunes for their time.
The hits of the time.
Yeah.
What if those guys were making any publishing money off of that?
Wow.
No.
Wow. Is there any style of music? Is there any style of music that you don't like?
That I don't like. Some of that really, I enjoy it and then I hate it. That just dirty rap, where they're just talking the horrible guns and sex and drugs and all the stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I just hear? I can't even process all of the information that they just threw at me. But I enjoy it, and then like the second time, I'm like, this is just, it's just horrible. It's just pure evil, pure filth, just infecting people. Like it's not even comedy anymore. The first time it's funny that they're saying it, and you're like, no, they're really serious. They're really serious.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it's a love-hate relationship that happens between the first play and the second play.
Yeah. You strike me.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All musical forms are valuable in many ways. Even the new AI creations are really interesting to me. Some of it just makes these interesting choices that I have never heard made before, of standard, very simple pop, but just organized in slight ways that it thinks are cool, or it thinks it wants to be, but it's not making the decision from ego. It's not making the decision from self-interest. Or because when we write a song, it's like, no, I think it should be this way. And the other guy says, no, you should go to the G before the F. It sounds cooler. And it's like each person just wants their way when there is no better way. The G before the F before the G, or the A minor before the G. It's like he just wants his way, and they'll fight for the A minor is better than the F. And like these egos get involved. And with AI, it just it does it without ego. And so it makes choices with no ego, which is unheard of in the history of music. Like music has it inherently entwined with the ego in a strange way. Like, I mean, even like I've done hundreds of sessions, and even though I'm working for Lego, I and it's not about me at all, or Pokemon or whatever else I'm doing. It's not about me. It's about the event. It's about the product. It's about the thing. But I'm still Lego mania. I mean, I could go Lego mania. Like, which one I choose is based on what I think is better, which is based on my perception of reality, which is based on the I, the me, the my. Like, every choice in music is ego driven. Lego. And look at that. Matter of fact, that's a good example because ego is right there in the word.
So is that a good thing that AI is egoless?
In terms of what it creates from it, and I think that might be the defining factor that separates it from other music, because you can't distinguish it otherwise. But like, maybe that's the thing you listen for. You go, wow, does this song have an ego or not? The vocals, they have these vocals, and they're like, they whisper sometimes, and they do these little things, and you're
it's a lot of nuance.
Was that a dude with an ego, or was that AI? And if you cannot hear the ego, then it's AI.
But I wonder if like the lack of ego is kind of equivalent to a lack of soul.
Well, 100%. 100%. But it's still an ethereal question. Does this music have soul? Or does it have ego? And do we need soul? And do we need ego in the choice? I think the soul is more important, or they might manifest themselves in similar ways. It's interesting because some of these soul renditions of like Eminem songs that AI has been spitting out are incredible. They're just incredible. I mean, technically, I think we've been erasing the soul from music for since we were punching in, since modern recording punched in to fix that part, till you got a less soul, not a completely soulless take, but you're certainly fixing and fixing and fixing and fixing and fixing. And,
it's artificial.
And it becomes artificial, and it removes the soul. And now, of course, you get into the auto-tune of the past 25 years.
Yeah.
Removes the soul, and now you're EQing and you're affecting, and you're just, creating something else that is not the soul, the foundation, the organic and authentic human experience that you can only hear in a room with a human being sitting there in front of you. As soon as you record it, you might say you're eliminating some of the soul, but not the ego, because that person still recorded it, and that person's still. Matter of fact, the ego might even be increased by the recording process, because now you got all these people placing mics around and focusing on your voice in a more intense way, and you feel more ego. Your ego gets bigger. You put more ego into it because there's 50 people there and an orchestra to record, backing tracks for your vocal.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I mean, as your wall can testify, you've had quite a storied career in music, backing vocals, commercials, lead vocals, theater. Like, you kind of do it all, right? So when people are hiring you, what are they hiring? Like, what are they drawn to?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been vast and varied throughout my career. Sometimes they'll know me for beatboxing, and they'll be like, "Yo, get that dude in who beatboxes." A lot of times in a corporate project, there is a brief that the client, the brand will give the ad agency instruction. The ad agency will give the music house instruction. The music house will give their individual producers instruction, and their producers will go and produce, giving their musicians instruction, their vocalists and their instrumentalists. And I am at the bottom of that chain sometimes. Mm-hmm. And the instruction will be, yeah, we need somebody to do a gospel thing. Who does a gospel thing? Oh, I know this dude, Jason, he does gospel. Because for that guy, he saw me in gospel choir. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh yeah, I know a gospel guy. And he'll call me for the gospel choir. As my, or theater, whatever the particular person is, they'll know me for something that I did in that particular vein. Recently, the process is more about what the world knows me for now, because they are counting on the marketing opportunity to market my voice, and the voice that most people know already in their subconscious is the Pokemon theme song. Mm-hmm. So they'll want something that sounds similar to that, and even more so than the audio sound that they want. They now are licensing my name and likeness, the name, image, and likeness, because they want my face to represent their product. I had a meeting with a game company today, mm-hmm. and they're interested in the branding opportunity and how I can help bring attention to their brand, and make videos about it, post about it, and say, hey, I'm doing the song for this project. And so now, there's more than just my voice or my skill that they want, but they actually want my name and my face.
Is that how Pokemon came about? Was that like the guys were just looking for a singer to fit a certain role, and someone threw your name in the hat?
Yeah, the producers knew that I would be a good choice for the young rock sound that they needed. I had sung something for them probably that week. I was in the studio singing something else for some other project. These music houses will have many projects going on at one time with many different singers, and there was a strong session scene in the late 90s in New York City, and would be going from jingle house to jingle house every day, doing different things for different places. And I'd always see the same people and the same groups of singers. And a little bit of that goes on in LA, but it was really strong in the late 90s. And mm-hmm. now, of course, everybody can do everything in their house. So there's no real need to even go into the studio environment anymore.
Yeah. What was that process like, recording that theme song?
It was an average day at the studio. We get in and they present us with the lyrics, and here's the track, and here's the show that they're bringing in from Japan. It's this anime thing, and we watch it, and we need a rock sound. Here's the lyrics. It's a 1 minute piece for the TV show only. John Leffler, John Sigler are the writers and producers. They were there, and I'd worked for them quite a bit. Domino's Pizza Delivers was one of the things I sung for them. Uh-huh. And I also wrote a whole bunch of jingles for them as well.
They're American, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had a company called Rave Music, and then they changed to Paradise Music. And 4Kids, which is the parent organization that Pokemon hired to create the English versions, hired them to create the music for it. And, a couple of hours later, we had Catch 'em If You Can, Pokemon, with a catchphrase that got rejected. And then, I could probably a week later, we came in and sang they Gotta Catch 'em All, replaced it, created some background vocals, and they said, yeah, that's good, and put it on the TV show. A few months later, after the TV show had reached a degree of success, they went to work on creating the To Be a Master album, which is that album that has I'm on the road to Viridian City. And the full version of the Pokemon theme song as well. And a whole bunch of jingle houses in New York at the time that I was working at went to work to create songs for that album. So a whole nother, the jingle house that I did Lego Mania for wrote Viridian City. And so I sang that for that jingle house, and then the full version for Raven Paradise Music for that album, 1998. We're coming up on 28 years of that album.
Wow. So you've had a long relationship with Pokemon.
Well, yes, but it was a silent relationship up until it was kind of like I mean, it wasn't that silent. Some people knew about it. It was a secret affair.
Uh-huh.
Until 2016. It was just one of the credits on my resume that nobody was really talking about, but every now and then someone would mention it, and somebody would get kind of excited about it, but not really like what's happening now.
What happened in 2016?
2016 was the coming of age of the Pokemon generation. And at the same time as Pokémon GO was released. This app, I mean, Pokemon had continued throughout that 18-year period, and just producing all kinds of content. But the people that grew up on it turned 18 in 2016. 18 years after the song came out, or relatively 18 to 25-year-olds. Now were of the age where they have disposable income. They can download this new game on their phones that didn't even exist when Pokemon came out, and they can go out in the street and catch Pokemon and relive their childhood. And when they went out into the street, they realized that 15% of the entire Earth's population was out on the street catching Pokemon too. So this thing represented over 1 billion people.
That's incredible.
Which they didn't know. Nobody knew that there was that many Pokemon kids that are now adults.
Mm-hmm.
And that spawned the invites to Comic-Cons. And then I was like, oh, I've got 1 billion fans out there I didn't know about. What? Oh my God. I mean, I knew that there was 1 billion kids, but they were just kids until 2016. And they now are being taken advantage of by Niantic and all of the new content that they can create for adults who are Pokemon kids. And that content is also extended in 2020 into the card realm again, because the cards that those kids collected were stored in the basement, and during pandemic, everybody cleaned out their basements and their garages because they were stuck at home doing it for so long. Let's clean out the garage, and found all their Pokemon cards and went online. And all the online marketplaces and Pokemon card collecting communities sort of came bubbling up. And that created another resurgence in this 25 to 40-year-old group of people who now have disposable income and a whole bunch of Pokemon cards that are valuable that they need to figure out what to do with. So that marketplace really supported the Pokemon cards as an investment opportunity, and a lot of people bought houses with the cards that they had in the binder, and a lot of people found that their mother had thrown away that binder full of hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cards.
Curses.
Mom, it was a $250,000 first edition Charizard. And it's gone. You mean you gave it to the neighbor's kids?
Is there anything about the Pokemon world that even like Pokemon fans don't know about? Like any like insider secrets?
Well, there's a lot of mystery on the around the guy who created it.
Mm.
He was catching bugs in his backyard, and he made this Pokemon thing out of pocket monsters, which is what it means about catching the bugs. And he wanted a game that you could catch the bugs. And he kind of turned it over to the Pokemon Corporation not too long after it was created, and he's kind of MIA.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, he's kind of like this Satoshi Nakamoto of Bitcoin. Nobody knows who the guy was that created it. He's out there somewhere, but
Wow.
he doesn't appear very often to give interviews, which just means that the fans have more incentive to come to me, because there are very few people in the Pokemon ecosystem, human beings that fans of the franchise can interact with.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the guy. He would be, the guy who created it. Like I'm the voice of the song. There's a guy who made the logo, and there's people who voice act in the TV show. But besides that, there's no real interaction. Some of the artists, but the artists don't really interact that much with the public.
Mm.
The artists that create the cards.
Okay.
One of them, Mitsuhira Arita, he signs autographs at his events on certain Pokemon cards, and people line up to get their card, the Charizard, the main big Charizard, that the $500,000 card in a Beckett Black Label 10 graded item. The people get that card signed all day long. He's signing that card, and people are reselling it online for thousands of dollars. So,
jeez,
it's really so it's interesting, because Pokemon exists primarily in the imagination, with all of the content and all of the things that exist out there. I mean, I've got just a wall of Pokemon things and cards, but this card is it's just a very simple drawing. It's mostly existing in the imagination. Charmander, he's there in some of the shows, but Charmander in people's minds is where he really lives.
It's like a mythology.
It's a mythology, and it's amazing because it supports the imagination more than anything else. It's the imagination that drives the whole ecosystem. And then people imagine and create things like this. I actually found this. This is a unlicensed Pokemon card deck that they made in China. The Pokemon didn't even license. They can't stop China, because China has factories everywhere, and they love Pokemon, and they're making all kinds of Pokemon stuff. And they made the coolest unlicensed cards that I found when I was in Cyprus.
Wow.
And of course, I have my card that I made, and it's just, you're filled with people that are just making their own content based on their imagination, their love of Pokemon. So most of the things that happen in the Pokemon ecosystem come from this, and most of them are things that people don't know about, because they're unique individual items that only that person knows, or art that person created.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the Pikachu with my original artwork on this Pikachu Jumbo Silver Funko.
Nice.
There's just so many relative things that are created in the ecosystem, independent of just their main product, which is the Pokemon pack of cards.
Mm-hmm.
That may have a $1,000 card in there, which is really just gambling in a way. Very interesting what's going on in the ecosystem, and how it takes advantage of the 25 to 40-year-olds, many of them who have gambling addiction already.
Yeah.
And they're just going and buying up these cards and ripping packs and trying to find that $1,000 card.
Yeah. Of all the types of work that you do, like the voiceover and the backing vocals and the jingles and the lead singing, theater. What's your favorite? What's your favorite type of thing to do?
I think the favorite type of thing is theater because
Really?
it's the most analog, interactive. It takes all of my faculty from my physical stamina, acting, character, singing, and interaction, improvisation, being really in the moment. There's and everything else is sort of a technical exercise often. It doesn't embody all of the context, meaning, story. Transformational experiences happen in the room with people that you if they don't cry, I didn't do my job.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, as you've seen, the theater can bring people to these emotional catharsis and connect them with in ways that no other medium can really.
Yeah.
I mean, they cry when I sing Pokemon, but it's for different reasons.
Yeah.
It's not because of the story; it's because of their own personal story,
Of course,
with Pokemon and whatever it makes them feel nostalgic or about their childhood. But in a theater context, in a theater setting, there's way more. You're isolated in this room with people. Everybody's in the room having this experience. It's just, I think, the best. We just did both a Hard Day, Silent Night Christmas show,
I was
and
going to ask
there were
about that.
tears of joy.
So you still do that every year?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes,
Is it with Open Fist?
Yes, we just did the 17th year.
Jesus. Wow.
Yep, Jesus. He's 2025 years old.
What inspired that idea?
A friend of mine, Mark Wilson, mashed up the Beatles. I think he was probably inspired by "Here Comes the Sun." And he was like, "Oh, back before the jukebox musical and the mashup, Here Comes the Sun" was like, "Oh, maybe it's the son of God. Maybe that's Jesus." And then you start hearing religious references in Beatles songs, and you're like, "Wait a second, Mary, help! I need somebody help!" And she's pregnant for no reason. How did this happen? Her and Joseph, we can work it out. We can work it out, fighting, and then eventually they have the baby. Golden slumbers fill your eyes. Boy, you're gonna carry that weight a long time. This figure is gonna carry that weight, and you're like, did the Beatles write this about the nativity story? Yeah. And then he put them together for a first staged, well, not even a really staged reading, but just a reading of it in 1999. And in 2007, after I completed 2008, a successful landmark run of Joe's Garage, Frank Zappa. My first show at Open Fist Theater was Frank Zappa's Joe's Garage. Phenomenal. One of the best musical pieces ever written. Frank Zappa's a musical genius, and the context and meaning that he put into this concept album is incredible. Anyway, after that, I was invited by Open Fist to bring in works that I thought were impactful and powerful. And I brought Mark in, and we did our first reading in the summer of 2008. 2008 winter, we mounted the show for the first time and added some gospel arrangements, starring Ty Taylor from Vintage Trouble, Leslie Odom, Merle Dandridge, Destin Owens, and some other superstars as well. And that show has continued to grow every year for the past 17 years, and has a avid family of followers in Los Angeles that have come to see it, some of them 17 years in a row.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Pretty cool. And then, of course, our sort of partnered project together, which is For the Record, another absolutely monumental theatrical experience in my life to be able to be a part of that for as long as I was, and still kind of am peripherally every
Yeah.
now and then.
You were there from the beginning, right? From the very start?
Yeah, from the very beginning, as it evolved from that
Yeah.
cabaret that took some Tarantino songs, and then
Mm-hmm.
got Tracy Toms up there to do her scene during the cabaret, and then more and more, you know, expansion until
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing now, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But that, theatrically, also because theater is so hard to execute, takes so many people and such a community and such an effort from so many different artists and different skills, that like when it happens and it succeeds and it expands and it continues, it's more right than any other medium, I think.
Mm-hmm.
um and often theater is manipulated and contorted and distorted by how much money it takes, and the theater that has been most satisfying and successful is the theater that has had the most volunteerism,
Mm.
that people were not getting paid, or they're getting, minimal compensation, but they're there because they want to be there, they love it, and they 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 resonate with the message. And in those environments, it can be what it wants to be because it doesn't have to compromise because of financial constraints. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's compromised to some degree financially because it's got to depend on everybody's volunteering, but it it keeps the message and the work pure, because as soon as the producers get in and say, yeah, this is good, I'm gonna put some money into this. Broadway shows cost millions and millions of dollars. Everybody has to do what they're told, and then they keep manipulating and changing it to what they think is going to sell, and it becomes this commercial venture. And theater shouldn't be a commercial venture first. It should be a spiritual, creative venture. And then if that can be commercially applied, good. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the best theater is like Joe's Garage. This guy did that thing with no commercial application ever intended at all, just creatively. How do I get out what I need to get out musically, creatively, and on paper and into the world, recorded with no, he took no direction from anybody and would not even sign a record deal, as huge as this guy was, because he didn't want anybody else getting in the way of his message and his creativity.
Yeah. You're talking about Frank
That's
Zappa?
Yeah, Frank Zappa.
Yeah.
That's an amazing, example of theater reaching its ultimate fulfillment. Both is as well. I think For the Record did that as well, and some other shows like Hair
Mm-hmm.
that existed in this communal sense, and then that community that came together for that show, even though it was done at the public, it was done in this communal way, became a commercial venture. Rent is another one that also, I think its success is because of the community that gathered around the death of Jonathan Larson, that had to be there to support
Yeah.
this effort and creatively, and it became commercialized because of the success of this community, basically, that was formed and bonded over this tragedy.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the intersection of art and politics?
I think that I used to be extremely political in my musical expression, and I think it's very important that music has a direction, that it's motive driven, and that it's
Mm-hmm.
not just ego, even though the ego is still part of it, but that there's a message behind it, and that message can be political. Now, if we're talking about traditional politics, or just the idea that something is political or politicized, or, it's not a left or right musical. It's a musical with ideas, because politics is polarized, the root of the word, to divide people. And I think there should be a competition of ideas, but the competition of ideas shouldn't be two ideas. And that's pretty much what we have. We have the polarization of two ideas. And I think music can help give people more insight into either of those ideas, or a third idea, or a fourth idea, or a fifth idea that can be communicated with music. I think it's important for music to contain ideas, though, whether they're political, or spiritual, or social, or just comedic. Or, I mean, and it's also important for music to have no ideas, and there's plenty of that out there. But yeah.
Yeah. How do you stay motivated? Because you do so much. Like, do you ever get burnout? Do you ever have any like self-doubt?
Yeah, absolutely. My motivation, well, I do a meditation every morning. Gratitude, abundance, health, and love is what I meditate on. I put on a little musical version of that I created, that I sing to, and that I play, and then I give thanks and gratitude for all of the things that I can think of, including the blood cells in my body, the bone marrow I'm producing right now, the earth, the air, the sky, the bed, the floor, this chair, the fabric in this bracelet that says I'm so lucky, that was made by somebody in Mexico or China, sent it to Mexico. Like, all the things that we have are part of the abundance. And I think the gratitude and this intentional thinking about things provides me with, like, starting up the engine every morning. So that's the initial motivation. The doubt creeps in, and I notice this when I'm watching exceptional human beings do their thing, things similar to what I'm doing. Like, your microphone is really cool, and so I doubt my microphone because I see your setup with the logo and everything. I'm like, I'm kind of doubting my own microphone there, but I'm learning. So, the doubt is a way for me to level up. I was recently at a bar. My wife took me to this jazz bar, and she wants me to sing. And, like, I always get a little bit, self-conscious, or just a little nervous, basically,
Really?
before I have to sing, because there's these incredible musicians, and now I've got to level up. I've got to be as good. I've got to hold my own. I've got to get out there, and I've got to perform, and I've got to perform at my highest level, because these people are all doing it. And, that self-doubt is the sort of also a little bit of a fuel generating, a higher level of performance in my life and the things that I do. But that, and the idea that I have a unique and individual power to affect people's lives. And when I show up and I can fulfill that through performance, or through just meeting people, or just, whatever it is that the particular event requires of me, I it's like a satisfying combination. The math works out. I showed up, they got what they wanted, everybody, the value was there. I got something from them. People were happy. It's like a performance. They clapped at the end of the show. Yes, let's do it again. Let's do another show where they get the message, they get the fulfillment, they get their hit, I get my hit. and we all walk out of there happy.
Yeah.
I also try to keep my diet clean, and I've just recently started doing carnivore diet, which
okay.
It has really given me more energy than I've ever had in my life, and I've been pretty energetic. I've also cut out all of the processed nonsense, and I think part of why people are having such success on carnivore diets is because they've been eating so poorly that just eating animal products alone cuts out all of the processed foods. At least if you're only eating unprocessed animal foods. There are a lot of processed animal products that are not good as well. So we try to keep it as clean as possible and the highest quality ingredients and the highest. I collect my own spring water in the mountains.
Oh, nice.
And spin it in a Mayu water spinner to give the water a little more structure. And I don't know, just those are the things that I do to and focus on to keep myself energized and motivated.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk a lot about community too, and like the communal experience of art. Do you feel like that's essential to art and being an artist?
Certainly to be a theater artist.
Yeah. Like, can you be an
can't-
island as an artist?
Yeah. I think you first have to be. I think you first, besides theater, but even in theater, because you've got to write that theater piece, somebody has to write the piece, and they have to write it based on themselves in a room by themselves and having a connectedness to themselves and what they need to express. And the theater, the singer has to sing in a room by themselves and enjoy singing by themselves, practicing and learning and growing as a singer so that they can bring themselves to the community. So it first starts with the individual and the love of the creative process, or the need for the creative process if it's more urgently driven by some sort of emotional need. I used to write a lot during crisis, and the crisis would wind up creating songs that would express it, and it would just be for me. And I would write it and record it and get it all out and feel satisfied with my drawing or my painting. Here's my latest drawing on the binder.
Yeah.
I didn't do that for the community. I did it for myself. Then now somebody might like it and might want it, but I had to be there for myself first before I could be there for the community.
Yeah.
And I do feel sometimes that I have too many things that no one has heard. I have too many drawings that no one has seen. I have too many songs that are just on my drive that I listen to, that come up on my my feed on my phone when I'm driving around the car, but no one else has heard. And it seems like to distribute these, well, it's easier than ever now. You just pop it on social media and everybody can see it. But to distribute them properly is such a lengthy process. And then there's a disappointment when you distribute something and it's got like 40 views, and you're like, oh my God, I spent all that time putting it up and DistroKid and registering it and copywriting it and making a video for it and posting it here and posting it there, and it's got like 100 views. All right, okay. And there's a little, so I tend to only distribute the things that have a little bit more urgency or meaning, or that I know will be have market value or trending value because of something specific that I'm writing about that everybody is interested in, or some way to sort of, tap into it. Otherwise, you spend more work on the distribution than you do on the art. Spend more work on the mechanics than the craft.
Yeah. So what are you working on right now, and what do you have coming up?
I have been working on, besides getting all of my travel plans for 2026, I do have over about 24 events in 2026. So it's almost every 2 weeks. There's some other place that I'm going to. And there are various products that are coming with me. Some of those are cards. Some of those are other products of other companies, like this particular company, which is another card company that I'll be partnering with. And they make cards that are tied to a crypto story, crypto lore. Really cool. And actually, their limited edition cards will be 500 of these gold cards will be out of the 500,000 packs that are distributed, 500 gold cards. And out of the 500 gold cards, 490 of them contain 0.01 Bitcoin. And 10 of them contain 1 full Bitcoin.
Whoa, that's a lot.
You could buy these cards and play this card game and literally, pull a card that is worth $80,000-$90,000, what a Bitcoin is right now.
Yeah.
So there's all these, various associated products that I have. Hats. I have hats. I have sweatshirts, hoodies, binders, different things on my store. I just bedazzled this on my own, but nice. The JP logo is a derivative of the Ash Ketchum L on his hat. He had that symbol, which was an L, and somehow the L, when you turn it sideways, is a J and a P. And I do the original art on these hats, which I wear during a concert, and then I concert wear the hats, and then I bring these around. They're going in showcases. I have a whole bunch of merchandise on my Jason Paige store. It continues to expand, and we innovate and create like better binders. Like these binders, like this is a binder for what's called slabs. Because you could put cards in a binder, you could put cards in a slab, and then the slabs go in the binder, even a bigger binder. But and the slabs are more valuable. This is a slab that was graded a 4. The autograph was graded an 8, and it's actually signed. This is a concert worn card. So I take a card and I put it in my pocket during the show, and then after the show I sign it. And this one got signed by another guy named Gary Haas, King Gary. He has the largest collection of Charizards, I believe, in the world.
Wow.
And he's at the events that I'm at too. So we both signed this card. It's a special concert worn card. And it's graded and it says concert worn. So, and then it goes in the slab thing. But these binders, you'll have these cards in there. I mean, I don't have any in here. That's my first one I put in. But it'll hold slabs that could be worth many, many thousands of dollars. So there needs to be some security on the slab. So we're innovating a lock device that is like kind of like your phone locks, but your binder locks, and it tracks and it does some sort of more innovative things to keep your stuff safe. So we're innovating in the space to make cooler things that people need, and I am sort of a trusted brand in the Pokemon ecosystem. So I am producing things that protect cards. Each card, also we have the custom card sleeves. Like every card goes in a sleeve and a top loader and a sleeve inside of the sleeve. So
wow.
The card goes in the sleeve, and the sleeve goes in our top loader. Top loader goes in a binder.
Nothing's getting
and
those
all
cards.
Of those things. Yeah, and I sign them as well. So
people can meet you at these events, right? They can interact with you.
People line up to meet me at the events, and a whole bunch of other voiceover artists that have done characters in all of the anime. Incredible amount of anime that are out that people are, enjoying. And they all just sign autographs on cards, on Funko Pops, on posters, on items that people bring. The difference between myself and the rest of the voiceover actors at all of these events is that I perform a concert at the event as well. So and then a talk back Q&A sort of thing, in which I talk about all the other various things that people might be interested in that are on the board behind me. And the other voiceover actors, they're just signing autographs mostly and talk about their character, but there's no performance aspect to anybody else. They're all just actors. There's no singers really there. And so I uniquely bring the entertainment content to these events in a very unique way.
What are the ones you have coming up first this year?
On January next weekend, whatever that is, I think there's 16, 17, 18, something like that. I'll be at HobbyCon in Toronto, just outside of Toronto, Vaughan. And then I'm appearing at a store in New York City called Next Legacy. They got a spot right in Times Square. And then I hit Atlanta, then I hit Miami, and then I'm going to the UK for a quick 1-week tour with 5 events. Kent Card Show. I'm doing a night with Jason Paige in Wales. Hertfordshire store. I'm going to Glasgow for the first time, and then a tattoo convention where they have a whole contest of Pokemon tattoos.
Nice.
And performing at the tattoo convention where people will be showing off tattoos of my name on their arm.
That's awesome.
I know you've got some tattoos there, but I've had about 5 to 10 people have my autograph or the image of me in some, one of my cards that have crazy artwork, and they got that artwork on their arm or their leg. One event, they gave away free tattoo of, Jason Paige tattoo of my autograph. And the guy who won it, or it was a contest, he and his wife were on their honeymoon, and they got matching Jason Paige autographs on their body for their anniversary, not their honeymoon.
That's surreal.
It was so surreal. I wasn't, I'm like, I'm not sure if I need to spend more time with these people or less time with them because they need to know, once they know me, like, why would they want to have their tattoo? My tattoo, like, you only really want that with somebody who you don't know or who you're married to, I think. It's very bizarre, but I so appreciate, there are people that are super, super Pokemon fans, and it's extremely meaningful to them to have that. And most of these people have other Pokemon tattoos on their body as well.
Yeah.
So the tattoo convention. And then after that, I'm going to Kuwait for a card show in Kuwait. And there's probably going to be some other ones in the Middle East later on in the year. And I'm on the Collecticon circuit this year, which is 24 shows. I'm not going to be at all of them, but I'm going to be at quite a few of them. 2 of them in Los Angeles. Okay. And that's the largest sort of card convention in the United States. And so I have a couple of booths there. One booth where I'm signing autographs, and the other booth where we are buy-sell trading with all of the other vendors and attendees that bring the many, many thousands of different types of Pokemon cards and trade up for valuable slabs or trade for autographs or trade or buy all different other products that are at the booth as well. And we partner with other vendors, and we have just sort of like a team of people that go to these events and take advantage of the Pokemon ecosystem of love of these cards. Just cards. Amazing.
Yeah. So you're staying busy.
I'm staying busy, that's for sure. In addition to, writing my own music and performing some of my own music at various events, there'll probably be a concert of my music. And I mean, of all the concerts I do are my music, but less Pokemon centric music here in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Instigated by those guys at the jazz club who were like, we got to do a gig. You got to come down here. Just give us a set list and we'll do it for you.
That's
so
perfect.
I might be doing some jazz stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know. I want to.
Yeah.
Go to
and
that.
Saturday, you're invited to come over. I'll send you the flyer.
Sweet. Where can people find you online and get your merch?
JasonPaige.com, PAIGE.com.
Okay.
The shop is there. And I just got my Amazon shop up and running. It only has binders.
Okay.
But the Jason Paige store is on Amazon as well.
Sweet.
On Jason Paige shop, and it's getting renovated now, so we can add more stuff to it and have maybe even some more licensed Pokemon stuff there, not just this individual, stuff like this. Actually, the first graded and slabbed CD of the To Be a Master album signed, that was the thing that started it all. This is the first time anyone's ever seen this. I just got this in the mail. There's a company that they're called AMG, and they are the premier company encapsulating CDs and cassette tapes, which people are collecting now. Vinyl, they do vinyl as well. But CDs and cassettes, nobody's going to play, so might as well put them inside of a big thing.
Yeah,
and they grade it. It's graded. And this company is actually a company. I think Steve Aoki is a partner in this company. He's that amazing DJ. He's also a big Pokemon fan. So,
wow. Well, is there anything you want to leave the audience with? Any message you have for artists out there?
Be true to yourself. Enjoy what you're doing. Love it. Do it for the right reasons, and then commercial applications will manifest once your emotional application and your creative applications are satisfied. I think that's the best for that thing.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. It's so good to see you again, too. It's been ages.
Thank you. Yes, you too.